You're listening to This Week in the World of Football, which is coming to you from the fabulous World of Football Man Cave, located in the center of the football world, Kalamazoo, Michigan. The purpose of this podcast is to promote the game of football in all its many forms, past, present, and future. The intent is to educate, inform, and entertain you, the listener, with the glorious buffet that is the world of football, while also keeping a close eye on the rich history of the game. You can find this show on a multitude of podcast platforms as well as on YouTube. Timestamps are provided in the show description, so you can jump to the topics you really want to listen to. So without further ado, let's kick off this week's show.
Hello again, everyone. This is episode 404 for July 29th, 2025. I'm your host, Randy Snow. On this week's show, 3 champions are crowned in the Women's Football Alliance. The playoff matchups are set in the Indoor Football League and the Arena League. And we now know that the Buffalo Bills will be featured on Hard Knocks this season. But I'm not here all by myself. Across the table for me, as always, is my son, Adam.
Yeah, it stinks to open up a show. You know, we had that heartbreaking news coming out of New York City with the shooter at the NFL headquarters. We didn't want to make it a big topic. We didn't want to get into a whole thing about it because there's still. I mean, I don't know everything about the situation. Yeah. You told me a little bit more than I'd heard.
Here's what I know: mass shooter in New York. He went to the building where the NFL offices are at. I guess they're on floors 4 through 8 of this particular building. The guy went in and he shot the security guard and some people in the lobby, got on an elevator, and evidently they have different elevators that shoot you up to certain areas, so he got on the wrong one, did not go to the NFL floors. He went up to some other office in the 30s, and I think he killed one person up there. And then killed himself when the cops arrived. So, but he had a note on him talking about how he had CTE from playing high school and I think college football too, out in I think either USC or UCLA. I'm not sure, but anyway, and he said that the note said the NFL wasn't doing enough to help people with CTE, and he was going there to wreak havoc at the NFL offices, I guess. So that's all I know at this point. But a very, very sad story, and we don't normally cover anything like that. I wasn't even going to talk about it today.
Yeah, I mean, I felt like it had to be at least acknowledged.
Yeah, let's get it out of the way.
It stinks, and our hearts go out to those affected by it, and it's just you hate. That's the last topic you want to talk about with a fun football show is that kind of junk. And it stinks when you have to be like, I mean, it's a big topic. I feel bad if we don't even mention it happening, because I always view the podcast as like what's actually happening in the football world, the good, and sometimes we unfortunately have to bring up the bad. But we don't have to dwell on it, and we'll see if we get more information out of it. It's just, it sucks to hear. You hate opening a show like that, but we're gonna try to do our best to move on and just try to give you guys a nice, fun show that focuses on the good side of football, hopefully.
Yes. Yeah,
unless you're the Cleveland Browns and your new uniforms, which we'll also get into.
Oh, more uniform talk, eh?
Poopy uniform talk.
Poopy uniform talk.
You'll know when we talk about it.
Hashtag poopy uniform talk. All right. Well, not only do we have this weekly podcast, but we also make YouTube videos. We currently have over 600 videos on our YouTube channel, with the newest ones being, last week you did an AF1 uniform redesign using what game?
So it's the Team Builder.
Okay.
It's for College Football 26. I think they do one for Madden. I've never used that one. I didn't even know that was a thing till I thought I read about it recently. So there might be, when the new Madden game comes out, you might be able to do this exact same thing or import what you've worked on over there too. We'll see. But I've been playing with it, and I was like, you know what? I just got the idea because I'm always nitpicking uniforms. Obviously, why we have Adam's uniform segment that we're going to have later. I just like uniforms, and it's just that weird thing I like to do. And I was like, finally, a way to express what I would do with some of these uniforms. And the conceit was, I know most of these uniforms have good stuff about them. It's just using these tools, what would I do? Yeah. And I just, like, some teams, I'm like, all you need is a new helmet, but here's what I would do with everything. So yeah, go check that out. I got a lot of positive feedback from it. That was actually fun. So I'm debating on what the next, if I should do another one. Maybe something with my fantasy league, or maybe a different league. I'm always open to suggestions. If people are like, hey, you should redo the Arena League uniforms because they're crap. Because I don't know if you saw Royce's.
I did see that.
That was a great video.
Yep.
It was hilarious. It was very I hadn't even seen some of those helmets because I hadn't seen the Wise Guy's helmet, and he's right. It's awful. So good job, Royce.
Yeah.
Or Viking Wax Press. Go check out his video. It was a lot of fun.
Absolutely. Yeah.
6 minute. I was like, dang, a 6 minute video for Royce. That's really short. But
it's only 4 teams.
6 teams.
Well,
but you don't get shortchanged
right,
because he packs it with jokes and a lot of great cutaways. And I thought he did a phenomenal job.
Oh, like the Lunker song?
Oh, when he cut to that, I was sitting there at work watching it, and I was dying. I was like, yep, kudos to Royce for that. That was awesome.
You're a bad influence on him.
He might say otherwise.
All right, let's see. We do have that's the only new video we've had this past week was your
we were going to have others, but we were going to record this week's CFL Weekly, but due to technical difficulties and we were trying to do that, and then we have our IFL playoff preview with Trey from Off the Wall. You're going to hear a snippet of it later, but we're going to have that video up too. I had some weird. We moved our router in my house, so when I was down in the office trying to talk with you, I was having the worst connection I've ever had.
And you were blaming me.
Oh, well, you didn't help.
I'm glad this wasn't my fault, because anytime it's my fault, I get this attitude from you that's like, stupid old man, can't you figure out technology? You still weren't running on DOS 2.0 over there?
I mean, that's a whole conversation for another day. God, these floppy disks are huge, by the way, that he uses to save all the podcasts on. Maybe we should auction those off. Anyway, so who would have thought that moving my router upstairs 10 feet would have affected my office downstairs? But it did, and we're trying to remedy it. So we're going to hopefully get something by tomorrow, or I'll have to record in a different location. So we'll see. So that'll be up. Week 8 will be up. Don't worry if y'all are craving the CFL Weekly. We'll touch on it a little here, but we'll have the full video. And then obviously we'll also hopefully get back to the regular schedule with Week 9. So you'll have 2 CFL videos this week, the IFL preview with Trey, and since we're going to the Hall of Fame, we're also going to have our Hall of Fame travel log up probably this weekend.
Yeah. And maybe a separate Have Grave Will Travel?
I don't know.
2 videos out of there? Throw them into one?
I'm not planning on it. I don't know what you got up your sleeve, but
I do have a grave. It's very close to the Hall of Fame. So if it works out, we're gonna go and we're gonna do a little video.
Well, darn, when you look at the time, it's not gonna work out.
Yeah. Okay.
We got other stuff we're gonna be doing.
Yeah. All right, this week we have scores from 25 games, including 3 championship games in 5 different leagues from across the U.S., Canada, and Europe. So when you hear someone say they can't wait for football season to begin, and you know somebody will, you have our permission to laugh right in their face and tell them to listen to our podcast.
Hold on, so that actually happened. I don't know, you were part of that group chat, weren't you? Where my sister in the group chat said something about football being back.
Oh.
And I said, well, you said you clearly don't listen to our podcast, do you? She's like, nope, only when Kyle's got it on the TV.
Yeah.
I was almost going to ask you, well, Dad, you said you're going to call somebody an idiot. You going to call your daughter an idiot?
Absolutely not. She gives me food every once in a while, so I cannot do that. My pipeline to her great cooking would be cut off, and there's no way I'm letting that happen.
Yeah, it would.
All right.
Even if she is wrong, football never left. Sis.
Quiet. All right, so now we're going to begin this weekly podcast, our tour around the world of football, and we're going to start off this week with scores from the Women's Football Alliance Championship games. There were 3 of them over the weekend. Let's see. On Friday night, it was the Salt Lake Wildcats shutting out the Baltimore Knight 19-0 in the Division II championship game. And also on Friday, it was the Oklahoma Rage defeating the Richmond Black Widows 25-7 in the Division III championship game. And then the big game on Saturday in the Pro Division, it was the St. Louis Slam defeating the DC Divas 26-14. I think that was a good matchup because both of those teams are really good. The DC Divas, the St. Louis Slam.
But you look at all of it. I mean, they're all the games were multiple possession wins for the winning team.
True.
And I know we had a Slam fan comment, I think one of our last videos, go Slam. So congratulations to them, their team. I think we've had some DC Divas fans pop in too.
Yep.
But, what I think it's great for this league to play in Canton, Ohio at Tom Benson Stadium.
Right, yeah.
I think
they've been doing it for years.
Yeah, I think that's really cool. A good way for them to end their season. I just hope next year, a little more exposure for this league. Every year, I just feel like we don't hear enough about them. I know even we had our team up in Grand Rapids. The season was so short. It came and went faster than I anticipated.
Yeah.
I was like 6 weeks. That was it.
Well, I think they play 8 games now. I don't know what they played before.
I just saw our Grand Rapids team. They even forfeited a game for too many hurt players at one point.
I think so.
We'll see. I would love to get up to a game next season. That's kind of one of my goals for 2026 is to either them or Detroit. If they both have a team, so we'll see what happens.
But when you look at a team like the Salt Lake Wildcats shutting out their opponent, you get to a championship game and then you get shut out. I mean, they had to have won a playoff game to get to the championship game.
A couple of them, I think.
And that must be very disheartening to the Baltimore Knight to go into the title game and get shut out.
Clearly disheartening, but I mean, what's that say about the Salt Lake Wildcats? Just the kind of team they had.
They're a good team.
Same with the Oklahoma Rage, beat a team by 18 points.
Yep.
The St. Louis Slam winning by 12. So, I mean,
yep.
All these ladies worked real hard to get to that, and kudos to all those champions, the Wildcats, Rage, and Slam. I look forward to getting those logos and slapping them on the thumbnail this week.
Yeah, congratulations to all 6 teams for making it to the title games.
So congratulations to the whole league for another season. Hopefully, what is it? What's the Boston team that was the Renegades?
Yes, Boston Renegades.
That were dominant for 5 straight years or whatever.
Pittsburgh Passion.
Yeah, but the Renegades are the team that took the year off. Are they coming back next year? Or
I don't recall.
I think we talked about that story. I thought they were taking a year off, but we'll see. Hopefully they come back with more teams with maybe not as dominant of a team as the Renegades, but I love the competitiveness, and that's what I hope they can keep going with.
Yep. Yeah, so they're going to have to change over that. Well, I don't know how much they did anything in the end zone with 3 games, but
they probably didn't do anything.
Yeah, I haven't seen any highlights, so I don't know if they already had the end zones painted for the Lions and the Chargers.
Well, they never do that for the end zones at the Hall of Fame game. It just says Pro Football Hall of Fame in the end zones, so I bet you they didn't touch a thing.
Okay.
So, yep. All right, we moving on?
Yeah, we're moving on. Hey, everyone, this is Randy with an apology and a correction on what we just said. During this part of the show where we were talking scores from the Women's Football Alliance, I incorrectly said that the Oklahoma Rage were the Division III champions. That was incorrect. I had it wrong in my notes, and I'm here to correct that and to apologize. The Richmond Black Widows are the Division III champions, beating the Oklahoma Rage 25-7. I just had that backwards in my notes, and I apologize to the Black Widows. They deserve all the credit. It was my mistake, and we'll try and do better next week. Sorry, but this is my correction for that.
All right, we are now moving on to talking about CFL Week 18, and just full disclosure, everybody.
Just Week 8, not 18.
Sorry, Week 8. I'm writing down the timestamp. CFL Week 8. We won't get in as depth of conversation as we normally would on our recap, so be sure to be on the lookout for that. We'll dive in a little more into some of these games. Starting Thursday night, the Montreal Alouettes defeated the Calgary Stampeders 23-21. This was a heck of a game. I know you look at 23-21, it's not super high scoring, but there's a lot of interesting stuff here, a lot of great highlights. And it was capped off by a 57-yard game-winning field goal by Jose Maltos. What a leg. That was a great kick, by the way.
Even the announcer said that would have been good from 65 yards.
It looked awesome.
Because it went through those and through the uprights, and it was halfway through the end zone, which is 20 yards long. So
it always throws me when you see them they're in field goal range, and I'm looking at the field, I'm like, wait a minute, they're at the 50. Then you realize, because they also have the goalpost moved up to the
goal line.
So that's usually what throws me off. I'm like, what do you mean they're at field goal range? So, I always have to readjust my brain when that happens.
Yeah, Calgary was shut out in the fourth quarter, and Maltos kicked 3 field goals in the fourth quarter to make a difference.
Yeah, Calgary blew an opportunity.
They had that game won.
I mean, but good kudos to the Alouettes. McLeod Bethel Thompson. I kind of was skeptical on how he could, run that team, being the full-time starter for a while with was Alexander as the quarterback. Davis Alexander out for 6 weeks, I think, with that injury. So, I mean, they still made some plays though. So kudos to them getting that win. I know our buddy Tim was at the game, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, he went to Calgary to see that.
So he's hopping all over the country up there. It's awesome. So I'm a little jealous.
Yep.
All right. Friday night saw the Saskatchewan Roughriders defeat the Edmonton Elks 21-18. Now this game for a while I was like, oh yeah, the Roughriders got this. Edmonton didn't look great at all.
Right.
until that fourth quarter, where I'm pretty sure, what were they? They were down 21 to
they scored 2 touchdowns, so the 14 points they scored. 14
they're down 21 to 4
points
going into the fourth quarter.
Yep.
Because for a while there, I thought it was going to go into halftime, the score of 4-1 or whatever.
Yeah.
It was
exactly. Yeah,
but
they
then
scored on the last play. Of the
Saskatchewan
first half.
scored towards the end of the first half. But then that fourth quarter, Edmonton scoring 2 touchdowns and making it a game and getting back into it. I was like, okay, here we go, Edmonton. And Trey Ford was benched for Cody Fajardo.
Yes.
And Fajardo obviously playing in front of, because he used to be with the Rough Riders, didn't he, Cody Fajardo?
I believe so, yes.
At one point. So that was interesting to watch. But man, he took some bad sacks.
Yeah.
That offensive line did him no favor. So maybe it's not a Trey Ford problem either. Maybe it's an offensive line issue with the Elks. Hard to say, but Fajardo had a couple nice passes. There was a couple great plays. I think was it this game where the guy caught it and just had to do a little spin around, and it was just wide open field for a touchdown. I'm going to say it was this one where Edmonton caught it.
No, that was the Hamilton and BC game, I believe.
Was there? I thought it was this one, but I could be wrong. I get them all mixed up after watching them all weekend. But still some good plays in this one, and it was awesome. Edmonton made it a game towards the end, but they just didn't have enough to beat the Rough Riders. That Rough Riders defense, though, for most of this game, looking as great as advertised. Yeah. Then Saturday, our beloved Toronto Argonauts defeated the Winnipeg Blue Bombers in a rematch of the Grey Cup. So these two teams seeing each other for the first time. Total rough start to the season for both of these teams after being in the Grey Cup.
Yeah.
But Toronto comes out with a win, 31-17. A lot of crazy plays in this one too.
Just Toronto's second win of the season.
Yeah.
But boy, they have had Winnipeg's number. They beat them in 2 different Grey Cups over the last few years.
Yep.
And they're down this year, but Winnipeg comes to town and they find a way to they look like world beaters. They look like the Grey Cup team from last year. But
It was crazy. Winnipeg though had a couple of great plays where I think they capitalized on a fumble at one point. It was just these two teams just don't look like the teams we would normally think of. Like the Argonauts finally looked good after looking like crap most of the season, and then Winnipeg, I was like, all right, they've had a rough start to their season, but they haven't looked super terrible. Well, here they are looking terrible for most of this game. So, but another set of great highlights. But the game of the week, I was so glad to catch this game live. The Hamilton Tiger Cats defeating the BC Lions 37-33. That makes it 5 wins in a row now for Hamilton after starting the season 0-2. This Tiger Cats team is so fun to watch. Yeah. For British Columbia, they were fun too. This was a very back and forth game there for a minute. British Columbia even had a 10-point lead towards the end of the game, and they blew it. Hamilton just came roaring back, took that win.
I was rooting for BC.
I was kind of pulling for Hamilton, only because I'm like, man, they've kind of been bad the last couple of years.
Right, yeah.
And even though I'm a Toronto fan, I get I should hate the Ticats, but I love all the teams in the CFL.
We do. We have some definite feelings about all the teams in the NFL, ones we absolutely hate.
Cowboys.
We don't really hate anybody in the CFL.
No.
We dislike a few, whatever.
I don't even dislike.
But every week we can be rooting for any one of the teams, depending on the schedule, who's the underdog.
But we align ourselves with Toronto just because that's where we've seen the most games. It's the team we Yep. I don't know, just something about Toronto I've always liked above everybody. But
it's the double blue color.
It's probably
that's what it is.
But Hamilton is kind of a close second sometimes.
Yeah.
They awesome game, awesome highlights in this one. Both sides of the ball from both teams. So just that was the game of the week. That was so much fun.
Yeah.
And then on bye this week, the Ottawa Red Blacks. So your standings for the CFL after 8 weeks. In the East Division, the Hamilton Tiger Cats and Montreal Alouettes are both sitting at 5-2. Then you have the Toronto Argonauts at 2-5 and the Ottawa Red Blacks at 1-6. And then in the West Division, the Saskatchewan Roughriders now sit at 6-1, followed by the 5-2 Calgary Stampeders, the 3-3 Winnipeg Blue Bombers, the 3-5 BC Lions, and then the 1-5 Edmonton Elks. So now we're going to transition and we're going to talk about the Indoor Football League. But in order to do that, we talked a little bit up top about having a chit-chat with our friend Trey, and we were like, well, you know what? Let's give a little tease of that talk before the video goes up. And we're going to give you a little taste of some IFL talk with Trey from Off the Wall. Right now, we'll see you on the other side. All right, well, let's not delay any further. Let's kind of get things rolling. I think we're first going to go off the wall with Trey. and we are going to touch on the recap for Week 19. Dad, I don't know if you got the scores or if you want me to read them off. But
I do.
Let's start running through the last week's games and get Trey's thoughts on those.
All right. It started out on Friday night with 2 games. It was the Bay Area Panthers over the Massachusetts Pirates, 45-30. Trey, what'd you think of that game?
That was a tough one for Massachusetts fans because they had a chance to avoid their first losing season in franchise history, but they just fell apart and they could not get anything going against a Bay Area team that really didn't have much to play for. So Bay Area had their foot off the gas a ton. Josh Jones started the game. He went 1 for 1, one deep pass for a touchdown. They pulled him. They had the 1 seed in the West secured, so they were like, "Yeah, you're out. You're done." Massachusetts, they were fighting and clawing, trying their best, but offensively they were just toothless for the majority of the season, and this was another example of that. So Massachusetts fell flat, first losing season in franchise history, and Bay Area continues to be Bay Area.
Yeah. Also on Friday night, our beloved Fisher's Freight defeated the Iowa Barnstormers 81-40. That's their 5th win in a row to end the season. Started off the season 2-0, had a 9-game losing streak, now win 5 in a row at the end of the season, missed the playoffs. 81 points. I believe is that a league record?
Surprisingly, no. That's not even the high this season.
Okay.
And I think the high this season also came against Iowa. The Vegas Nighthawks scored 82, so they were very close to scoring the high on the year. I think this game was much more of a testament about Iowa's shortcomings than Fisher's. What's the opposite of shortcomings? Longcoming? I don't know. I don't even know. Longcomings?
Put me on the spot.
It's more about Iowa's shortcomings than Fisher's longcomings. Iowa has just a historically bad defense this year. I think heading into this game, they were averaging 56 or 57 points a game on defense given up, and they're just a mess. They turn the ball over a ton, and Fisher's was able to pounce on every opportunity that they could. And this game started 10 minutes before the Bay Area Massachusetts game, and this game ended 10 minutes after the Bay Area Massachusetts game ended, just because there was so much scoring, so much stoppages, and it was just like, okay, they scored 60. Okay. Oh, 70. Oh, they're now stopping 80. And it was just an onslaught. So strong finish to the season for Fishers. If you take out that little 9-game losing streak in the middle of the year, Fishers had a pretty impressive year. Other than that. So I think they've laid a good foundation for the season, and it's all in all a pretty good debut year, and ending strong heading into next year will be good for them.
I'd look like a pretty big genius if that 9-game winning streak didn't happen. I'm just going to throw that out there. We'll talk about some of that stuff later, but I want it to be known. I know I'm not no Trey Damas over there, but I was a 9-game losing streak away from looking pretty darn smart when it comes to the Fisher's Freight.
Yeah, just ignore that half the season. You were golden.
Even if they won like half of those games, like.
And that's the thing. They easily could have. That's the frustrating thing. They very much could have. Yeah.
All right, let's move on to Saturday. The Jacksonville Sharks defeated the Green Bay Blizzards 63-53. Another really high-scoring game.
Yeah, this was a good one. I thought Green Bay was going to come in and clean up, and I thought they were going to take care of Jacksonville. And it was a back-and-forth game. I think Green Bay was up double digits at one point in the first half, but Jacksonville didn't blink. They didn't flinch. Heading into this game, Jacksonville kind of struggled through the air over the last month of the season, and they were able to run the ball really effectively. Tyler Huff is a great dual-threat quarterback on the ground, but they were just missing it through the air, and they were able to light it up in this one. And they were able to pounce on Green Bay's mistakes. Green Bay made a couple more mistakes than Jacksonville did. Jacksonville played a solid game. Green Bay had a fighting chance at the end to come back and potentially recover an onside kick, but it just didn't go their way. And Jacksonville won this one, prevented Green Bay from getting home field all throughout the playoffs. And it's setting up for a very exciting race in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, also on Saturday, San Antonio Gunslingers defeated the Northern Arizona Wranglers 49-30. What did you think of that game?
This was a game that somebody had to win. And it just I think heading into this game, I think they were 6-24 combined. I want to say 6-24 or 5-25, something like that. So it was one of those things where it's like, all right, obviously this was not your year. It was a lot of a lot of the younger guys going out there and auditioning for next year, putting some stuff on tape. So it wasn't the most exciting game, but there were some plays that were really fun, and you were able to see a lot of young talent that you didn't really get to see throughout the season make some plays and hopefully be able to land in, if they don't return to Northern Arizona or San Antonio, land in another spot next year.
Yeah. Let's see. Also on Saturday, it was the Tulsa Oilers over the Quad City Steamrollers by the narrowest of margins, 49-48. What was the deal with that
Steamrollers,
game?
Randy? Steamrollers.
Steamwheelers.
You've been reading some old school NFL books again, haven't you?
Yeah, I was thinking of the Rhode Island Steamwheelers. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's on the Rhode Island again. I knew it. But yeah, this was a very fun game. And heading into this game, I was wondering how they were going to play it, because this game started about an hour after the Green Bay game. So there was a little bit of scoreboard watching. And as soon as Green Bay lost, Quad City locked up the number 1 seed, regardless of what happened in this game. So the moment Green Bay lost, they pulled Daquan Neal for Quad City out of the game in the second half. So it's left a little bit to be desired of like seeing a Daquan Neal versus Sam Casanova dueling all the way to the end. But Tulsa won this game, and they looked strong, and it shouldn't be a surprise that bringing in Sam Casanova really elevated this offense. And this Tulsa defense has been playing outstanding all year. Sounds like 1 or 2 weeks where they gave up a lot more points than they would hope, but they've been playing great all year. So anytime you have a great defense, then you have an all-world quarterback and Sam Casanova coming in, it's gonna be good for them. So the first round matchup between Tulsa and Green Bay, I know I'm getting ahead of myself here, but that's going to be an incredible game. And if you haven't watched a single game all year, that's going to be the one you would want to tune into this upcoming weekend. It's going to be a banger.
All right, then finally on Saturday, the last game, it was the Vegas Nighthawks over the Tucson Sugar Skulls, 55-18.
That's Randy's Tucson Sugar Skulls, right?
Yeah.
Am I remembering that?
Yes, it is.
and your Nighthawks, I believe.
My Vegas Nighthawks versus Randy's Tucson Sugar Skulls. Yeah, Vegas at no point was this game ever in question, wire to wire. Just from the moment the game kicked off, you just saw it. Like Vegas just dominated this game up and down. Quentin Randolph, he set the franchise record for touchdown receptions in a season, and he had a really fun celebration. I don't know if you guys saw it, but he caught, I think it was touchdown number 22 on the year. He ran to the opposite side of the field, and one of his friends had a pair of gold shoes that he changed into in the moment to celebrate the occasion of becoming the number 1 in team history. So that was a fun moment. And Quentin Randolph has been outstanding at wide receiver, and this Vegas offense is rolling. They look really, really good heading into the playoffs, and that was a game they needed to get this offense momentum, and because they're going to need it in their first round match.
And then finally, on Sunday night, it was the San Diego Strike Force over the Arizona Rattlers, 46-26, a 20-point win for San Diego.
Yeah, this win's a little deceiving because going into this game, Arizona had nothing to play for.
Yeah.
Win this game, they're the 2 seed. Lose this game, they're the 2 seed. So they very much had their foot off the gas for the majority of this game. But this was a good momentum swinger for San Diego. They needed to get some things in order. They had some injuries late in the season, and they had some new personnel coming in, some old but new faces, if you will, which we can get into a little bit later. But there's a good win for San Diego, all things considered, but didn't really mean much in the long term. So these two teams actually rematch in the first round of the playoffs, but this time in Arizona next week. So it'll be a good matchup once both teams are at full strength and going full bore.
Okay. Do you want me to go through the standings, the final standings, Adam, or shall we just go right to the
I'll hit up the standings real quick just to give some teams some love and maybe a little encouragement going into next year, because a couple of these teams could do considerably better, I think, in terms of wins and losses. Which is real quick, in the Eastern Conference, the Quad City Steamwheelers ended with an 11-5 record, snagging that number 1 seed. At 10-6, you have the Green Bay Blizzard and Tulsa Oilers. Green Bay becoming the 2 seed, Tulsa the 3 seed, and then the Jacksonville Sharks at that 4 seed also at 10-6, followed by the Massachusetts Pirates and Fisher's Freight at 7-9. Both those teams were eliminated. And finally in the East, the 1-15 Iowa Barnstormers. You hate to see it for such a great brand going 1-15. That's right. It's a tough season. And then in the West, you had the Bay Area Panthers who locked up that number 1 seed, 13-3 on the year. Then you had the 10-6 Arizona Rattlers at number 2. The 10-6 San Diego Strikeforce are going to take the number 3 seed. And the 10-6 Vegas Nighthawks, Trey's pick, last I know, to win the whole thing at 10-6. So they're the 4 seed. At 6-10 is Randy's Tucson Sugar Skulls on the outside looking in. The San Antonio Gunslingers are at 5-11. And the Northern Arizona Wranglers at 2-14.
Yeah, we did have that story about the head coach of the Massachusetts Pirates getting fired, and 6 out of his 8 coaches were also getting fired. And there's rumors that the team might be moving. I don't know what to think about all that right now. It's too early in the off season for them.
Yeah, it's an interesting way that the story was let go, because it's one of those who do you ask from the Pirates' perspective. They let him go, but from his perspective, his contract expired and he didn't have a contract to be a coach next year. So you can't fire me from a job I don't have, right? So it's something where it's not surprising, because Massachusetts has never had a head coach for multiple seasons, which is insane to think about, considering the success they've had as an organization. Every single year, a different head coach. Like typically you see that, like Kevin Guy in Arizona, he's been there for ages. They build a culture of winning, right? You look at like a team like Jacksonville. Jason Gibson's been there for a couple of years now, off year last year, but consistency and culture got them back into playoffs this year. So it's an interesting approach in Massachusetts, but they'll have a new head coach next year. And will they be in Massachusetts next year? Potentially. Their lease at the arena still goes through the end of next year, so they have that thing that is still in their hands. But the rumor mill has been swirling that they might be potentially moving. Florida keeps getting brought up. Potentially Tampa. That's a historically great indoor or arena football market. So I don't know. We'll have to wait and see how everything works out. But Massachusetts could be on the move, but I also wouldn't be surprised to see them staying put either.
Yeah, I know that Massachusetts won the title just a few years ago, but I didn't realize that they had switched head coaches that much in their franchise history. Yeah,
it's shocking. Like, it's something where, is it the coach not really being a fan of how things are run there? Is it vice versa? The owner not really being a fan? Like, I don't know. It's one of those things where, like I said, it depends on who you ask and what's going on. But Tom Manas is not going to have a problem finding another job. There should be some jobs opening up, whether it's in the IFL or beyond. Don't know yet, but he shouldn't have any trouble finding a new gig.
Okay. All right, we're going to talk playoffs now.
Yeah, let's move on to the playoff bracket. I mean, this is what you play the season for. The final 8 teams have been set. So as we mentioned kind of through the standings, on the Eastern bracket, you're going to have the matchup of the number 1 seed Quad City Steam Wheelers taking on the number 4 seed Jacksonville Sharks. That game is going to be played Saturday, August 2nd at 3:05 p.m. Central Time. I guess that would make it, 4:05 our time, Dad?
Yeah, they're an hour behind us.
Okay. And then the other matchup in the East on Sunday the 3rd, you're going to have the number 2 seed Green Bay Blizzard hosting the number 3 seed Tulsa Oilers at 4:05 Eastern Time. In the West, you're going to have the Bay Area Panthers, number 1 seed, hosting the number 4 seed Vegas Nighthawks. That game will be Sunday, August 3rd at 7:05 p.m. 8:05 Eastern Time. And then the number 2 seed Arizona Rattlers will play the San Diego Strikeforce on Monday Night Playoff Football. That'll be at 10:05 Eastern Standard Time. And I guess the question is, Trey, I know all these sound like good matchups, but what is the matchup?
I alluded to it earlier, but Green Bay, Tulsa, if you can only pick one game to watch this weekend, that's the one. Like, that's just going to be an electric matchup. Max Myler is the quarterback for Green Bay. He's been playing outstanding football all year. He's been making that offense go. And I think it was week 3 or week 4, these teams met for the first time. It was 74-68 in overtime in Green Bay. I'm not guaranteeing another 74-68 game, but it's going to be a high-scoring affair when you have a Max Myler on one end and a Sam Casanova on the other. The defenses are opportunistic as well, so that could provide some momentum-shifting opportunities across the board. And, that's just going to be a very, very fun game. And truthfully, I think whoever wins that game is going to go to the IFL National Championship and represent the Eastern Conference. Just because, like, respectfully to Jacksonville, Quad City, they're both really good teams, and Quad City's been playing outstanding for the majority of the year, but the momentum is just on the side of Green Bay and Tulsa right now. And I've been high on Green Bay since about the midseason mark. I forget when, but I threw it out on X. I was like, look, buy your Green Bay Blizzard stock now because it's only going up. And they've been playing outstanding. And like I said, Sam Casanova coming over to Tulsa is like there. You get an all-world quarterback with a very, very, very good defense, and it's a good combination.
Yeah, I wanted to point out that when we did our original preseason kind of look, you did from the get-go. You said Vegas Nighthawks versus Tulsa Oilers.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know what kind of dark magic, what kind of secret dark crystal ball you have, because both, at least the teams you picked ended up in the postseason at least. My team, Randy's team, and even the team he picked to play them, which was also in the same conference. First off, then he changed his mind, and then now that team's eliminated from the playoffs. So we clearly don't have the same connections you do with the dark.
We don't
spirits.
know what we're doing. That's why we brought you in.
I don't know how you could have foresaw in your crystal ball the Tulsa Oilers being this good now with Sam Casanova.
Well, that's the thing. They had TJ Edwards before he had his leg injury, and TJ Edwards he's an IFL MVP. He's been first team all IFL. So they went from one incredible indoor quarterback to another. And there was a couple weeks there where it was a little dicey. We didn't know what was going to happen, but clearly the Tulsa ownership realizes the opportunity in front of them with the rest of the roster, and they went out and got their guy in Casanova, and he's been balling out ever since. But yeah, I was catching some heat earlier this year because in my IFL preview I excluded the Massachusetts Pirates from the playoffs, and the receipts don't lie. Episode 41 of Off the Wall has the IFL preview where I went into all this, and I'm gonna get on my own soapbox here. Went 8 for 8 on my playoff preview with all 8 teams, so seeding's a little off. Hand up, I could have done better there, but 8 for 8 is pretty good.
I mean, even on our show, our question at the start of the year was team on the rise and team that might slip. You nailed both of them. It was the Jacksonville Sharks on the come ups. And then it was the Pirates coming down, and I mean, we got the receipts on our channel too. I mean, I could probably cut to them right now just to prove that you said it. As we cut to it right now, and it plays. But so that's why you're the guy everybody seeks out, Trey, for this IFL talk, is you clearly know ball. I don't know why anybody would doubt that at this point.
No,
there's a nasty rumor going around that I know ball, and I will not deny said rumor.
He just watches every game and remembers quite a bit. So, we'll take in maybe a game or half a game here and there. You watch every game simultaneously. I don't know why your head doesn't explode because I couldn't do that.
Well, he's got those things. You've seen a Clockwork Orange, right, where they got those things to keep the eyeballs open. That's what Trey has to use.
Yeah.
Then his wife's got to walk through the room and give him a couple little eye droplets so he can keep going.
Yeah, a lot of eye drops, a lot of coffee. Keep me going in the dog days of the season. Yeah.
But so the other matchup. So let's talk about the Sharks. They're going to play Quad City. So the Sharks in the playoffs now. You were really high on them, getting better this year. What changed for them, and how do you think they stack up against Quad City?
Well, I think the biggest thing for them last year was personnel-wise, they still had an arena-style roster trying to play in an indoor-style league. And it just didn't match up. Because previous to last year, the NAL, which is where the Jacksonville Sharks played before, they played a little more arena-style. And they carried over a lot of the same roster, and it just didn't work. And it took them some time as an organization to adjust to that new indoor style. And it's a lot more running the ball. It's a lot more read option. It's a lot more quick pitch out. So it took them some time to get used to that. And they did towards the end of 2024, where they had some really exciting finishes and they were able to upset some teams, including Quad City. They had an unforgettable kick six, missed field goal return for a touchdown last game of the season, go out on the highest note possible. And they were able to carry that momentum into this year and get some players that are indoor players. Like, they know the indoor game and were really able to adapt to it. And it took them some time to, figure out their quarterback situation around the midseason mark. But Tyler Huff has been really, really strong for them on the ground. And if he's able to get hot through the air, this Jacksonville Sharks team could make some noise in the playoffs. But This matchup with Quad City is tough for them. Last time Jacksonville went to Quad City, they got absolutely boat raced. Like Quad City was just smacking them around. But on the opposite end, Quad City came to Jacksonville. Jacksonville was smacking them around. So it's one of those matchups where home field is definitely in favor of whoever has it, and Quad City will have it for this matchup. So I think Quad City probably wins this game. Jacksonville should make it very competitive, though, and it should be a good matchup.
All right, and then we'll jump over to the Western Conference real quick.
Yeah.
You got the number 1 seed Bay Area Panthers taking on the Vegas Nighthawks. While everybody would probably say it's got to be the Bay Area Panthers, clearly your stock was riding with the Nighthawks up to this point. Is it still riding with the Nighthawks through this game?
It's so hard to pick against Bay Area, but Vegas has the roster to do it. Like they have some really talented wide receivers, and Quentin Randolph, who I mentioned earlier, Mr. Gold Shoes, CJ Wyndham at wide receiver is very talented as well. He's just so good. Then on the defensive side of the ball, they have some really good pieces. Bryce Hampton spent some time with the Toronto Argonauts earlier this year, came back down to Vegas, and wouldn't be surprised to see him go back to Toronto at some point. They got players like Lorenzo Hernandez on the defensive line, who applies pressure really well. Maurice Jackson on the defensive line, really good at getting after the quarterback. But this Bay Area team is just methodical with their approach. Last year, they were a little bit inconsistent on offense. So what did they do? They basically absorbed the entire Northern Arizona offense, which was pretty prolific last season, and combined it with their stout Bay Area defense from the past couple of years. So this game's a big-time toss-up to me. I know everyone's going to lean Bay Area, but I think Vegas makes this a lot more interesting than people may realize, and I would not be shocked to see Vegas come away as the winner here.
All right, and then finally, Monday Night Football, Rattlers versus Strike Force. How do you see this one playing out?
I've liked this San Diego team for a very long time. I liked them last year. I was like, this team can do it. This team can do it. And they brought back a lot of the pieces, but also were able to, improve on some things. They brought in John Maldonado, who was with Northern Arizona last year at wide receiver. He was an all IFL wide receiver. Rudy Johnson is the Swiss Army knife. He's able to step in at quarterback when they need him. He plays running back. He returns kicks. He lines up at wide receiver. He played DB for a little bit last year. Like, he is all over the field. He is that quintessential Iron Man player that is just very fast and very good with the ball in his hands. And last year, the Massachusetts Pirates had a pretty good secondary, led them all the way to the IFL National Championship. They basically signed that entire secondary from Massachusetts last year, and they followed their defensive coordinator over to San Diego. So defensively, they play really, really well, and they just signed Arthur Jackson, who's been a prominent weapon for them over the past couple of years. So I like San Diego here, but it's hard to pick against Arizona because their quarterback is Dalton Sneed. Dalton Sneed led the Arizona Rattlers to the IFL National Championship last year. The year before that, he led the Bay Area Panthers to the IFL National Championship last year. So it's like, you've got a team that I think is really talented up and down in San Diego, but you've got Thanos over there at quarterback for the Rattlers, where it seems like he's inevitable. Like he's going to make his way to the ship no matter what. So both of these matchups in the West are very intriguing, and I wouldn't be like, you can make a legitimate case for every single one of these teams to make it to the championship.
Thanks again to our buddy Trey from Off the Wall for stopping by, having a nice little chit chat with us. Again, that video should be up on the YouTube channel Wednesday at some point. If I get it done tonight, it'll be up in the morning. If not, it'll be in the evening Wednesday. So be on the lookout for that. We had a great time chit-chatting with Trey.
Yes, we did.
There's a lot of other great stuff in there because we talk about our championship predictions and some other fun stuff in there. We answer some questions that people sent us on X. So tune in. It was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm. So. It's always good to talk to him.
He's a
very
great,
knowledgeable. He
very
makes
knowledgeable.
us look not as smart as we think we are.
I mean, he puts us in our place.
Yes,
Trey puts us in our place. We should put that on a shirt.
He's done his homework on the IFL, which we have not.
I mean, that's why we bring him in, because he knows what he's talking about with it. And as much as we like the IFL, we will be the first to tell you we're not experts.
Right.
We know enough to get us by, but he knows enough to make you feel smarter about the IFL.
Yep. Okay, so we're moving on to the European...
That was a big, long pause, Randy. Come on now.
I thought you were going to throw it to me. All right, we're going to move on to the European League of Football, and it was Week 11 over there in Europe. They had 3 games on Saturday, and the First game was the Vienna Vikings defeating the Färövar Enthroners 53-16, and that drops Färövar to an 0-10 record on the season. They're not the only one that's winless so far this year, because in another game on Saturday, it was the Paris Musketeers over the Cologne Centurions 74-7, and Cologne is now 0-10 on the season. The final game on Saturday, the Madrid Bravos defeated the Tyrol Raiders 54-28. And then on Sunday, it was the Prague Lions over the Helvetic Mercenaries 60-20, and Helvetic is also 0-10. So you got 3 teams that have not won a game so far this year.
What about the team that was undefeated, Randy, going into this
that
week?
would be the next game here. Your Frankfurt Galaxy defeated the previously undefeated Nordic Storm by the score of 35-20. First loss of the year. They were 9-0. Now they're 9-1.
You're welcome,
thanks
everybody.
to your
Way
Frankfurt
to go, Galaxy
team. Let's see. Also on Sunday, it was the Munich Ravens over the Roeschlau Panthers, 34-14. The Stuttgart Surge shut out the Hamburg Sea Devils 48-0. And finally, the Rhine Fire defeated the Berlin Thunder 69-7. So let's take a quick look at the standings in the ELF. They have 4 different divisions. In the north, the Nordic Storm are now 9-1, Rhine Fire 6-4, Berlin Thunder 3-7, and Hamburg Sea Devils 2-8. In the South Division, Munich Ravens at 9-1, Madrid Bravos at 7-3, Tyrol Raiders 5-5, Helvetic Mercenaries 0-10. In the East, Vienna Vikings 9-1, Prague Lions 6-4, Roeschlau Panthers 5-5, Färövar Enthroners 0-10. And in the West Division, Stuttgart Surge 8-2, Paris Musketeers 6-4, Frankfurt Galaxy now at 5-5, and Cologne Centurions 0-10. So not only do we have 3 winless teams, we have 3 teams with a 9-1 record: the Nordic Storm, Munich Ravens, and Vienna Vikings. So yeah, it's kind of like feast or famine over there.
Yeah.
You're either a really good team or you're not so good.
Pretty much. It does seem like, man, there is just a line of delineation between just like you're either a really great team or you're a really bad team. And it's clearly obvious who those are. There's very few who are kind of sitting in the middle. So.
Yeah. Yep. Okay, let's move on to the Arena League, the end of their regular season. Adam, do you want to do those?
Yes, sir. I certainly can. It was the final week of the regular season. As Randy mentioned, the Arena League's 9-week season comes to a close with 3 games this past weekend, starting off with the St. Joseph Goats defeating the Eau Claire Axemen on Saturday, 57-40, with their playoff hopes on the line. So they got the win. They did their business, but they needed some teams to lose in order to get in. Unfortunately for them, on Saturday, the Hot Springs Wise Guys defeated the Iowa Woo 46-42. And so that kind of bumped the Goats out of the playoffs. The Woo already had locked up a spot, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then Saturday, the Duluth Harbor Monsters took care of the Ozarks Lunkers 72-30. Oh, wow. I know we were thinking that if the Lunkers could somehow win again against the Harbor Monsters, they'd be able to come up and claim
the number 1 seed.
The number 1 seed, yeah, that was on the line for that game. But now the Harbor Monsters clinched that. And Ozarks, though, there was a scary moment during the game. A player went over the board. I was watching shortly after it happened because there was no action, and they were talking about a player getting thrown over the boards. They brought out, they described bringing out the board and the neck brace and all that. It was a very scary scene.
Yeah, I saw a little bit of that.
And luckily, the Ozarks Lunkers put out a thing saying that the player was all right.
Good.
So, good news there. So thoughts over to that guy. It's a tough game, and with the walls and everything in this sport, we know that they can be a problem. As fun as they can be, they can also, be scary to deal with.
I've never sat in the front row of a arena or indoor game, and I don't know if I really want to anymore. Halfway up,
just because you have to throw the player back. You
no,
can't keep the player.
No, I just don't want to get a helmet in the face by sitting there.
I'd rather take that than a baseball. At least that I can, as long as your head's on a swivel. Like there was, I forget which game it was. I think it was one of the indoor games. A kid just snatching a ball or swatting a ball that was going to hit somebody in the face. I think crazy stuff. You got to keep your head on a swivel in indoor/arena/hybrid indoor football.
Yeah, I'm fine sitting up a little higher. You can see better.
I love. That's a whole discussion for another day. Where do you like to sit in the arena?
Yeah,
we like 50-yard line, upper deck, so we could see all the action. That's our favorite spot.
You mean 25-yard line?
in the indoor game. And in the outdoor game, 50-yard line, upper deck.
In
so
the
we can see all the
CFL,
action.
55-yard line.
There you go.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's great. But, so your final standings in the Arena League, the TAL, like I said, number 1 seed is going to go back to the champion Harbor Monsters at 6-2 as they go to defend their title. The number 2 seed is the new team, the Hot Springs Wise Guys at 5-3. Your 3 seed will be the Iowa Woo at 4-4, and then also at 4-4 the Ozarks Lunkers. So those are your 4 playoff teams, and then on the outside, those poor goats also at 4-4. So they lost a tiebreaker.
Yep.
So they were eliminated. Sorry, Travis and Jason, you don't get to see your team play in the playoffs. And then the 1-7 Eau Claire Axemen or Eau Claire. I've heard it pronounced a couple different ways. Eau Claire Axemen 1-7. So your matchups will be as such this Saturday. The number 4 seed Ozarks Lunkers will go back to Duluth to take on the Harbor Monsters, and we'll see if they can, not repeat what just happened by that.
Yeah, that was a bad beatdown.
That was a bad beatdown. We'll see if they can make it a game. We're kind of pulling for Ozarks because, our buddy, friend of the show, Tyler Kulka at the helm there in Ozarks. But, the Harbor Monsters, the reigning champs, that's going to be a tough order in playoff football.
Harbor Monsters are looking good, and they're at home. Yep. So, I don't know.
And then this should be a fun one. Also, the Iowa Woo, number 3 seed, traveling to number 2 to take on the Hot Springs Wise Guys, who might have the worst helmet in the Arena League. Again, go see Viking Wax Press's video. And then that'll all culminate in Arena Mania 2, Saturday, August 9th. Is that the greatest indoor/Arena League championship game name? Probably.
It's a good one.
It's so good.
It's a good one.
It's so good. Oh, boy. I think I need a little more mania, but the branding is on point. And that should do it for our scores this week. I know it ran a little long because of our nice conversation that we inserted with Trey, but gave us a lot of insight. So very exciting for these seasons wrapping up. Pretty soon we won't be talking indoor. It'll all be outdoor football stuff.
Yeah, we're dwindling down on the games that we're going to be reporting on because this week 25 games and next week there's going to be half of that probably.
And we don't talk NFL preseason football.
No,
except for the Hall of Fame game. That's usually the one preseason game we talk about because it's the first one of the year.
Yep.
And luckily this year it's our beloved Detroit Lions in the game, and we'll be there. So after that though, we don't have to for 4 weeks or 3 weeks. We won't talk about NFL preseason, and then we'll get into real NFL football as NFL season comes back into full swing. But obviously we'll still have CFL stuff to talk about. So,
yeah. And I told you I bought a couple of tickets to some Western Michigan games too.
Oh, I'm so excited! Yeah, I can't go to one because I'm kind of away
I
that
decided
weekend.
who I'm going to take to that one, but you and I'll go to one. And
so let's have a contest. Do you want to go with Randy to a Western Michigan game? Send your 250-word essay to wofkalamazoo@gmail.com on why you should get to be Randy's seat buddy at the Western Michigan game on September 6th.
We will not provide airfare. We will not provide anything. Only one ticket is available because I bought 2 and I'm using one.
I hope you get the greatest essay from some guy in Podunk, Alaska, and they fly in to hang out with you.
And they have to buy me a hot dog at the game.
Woof.
So if you're willing to put up with those kind of hardships, then you can go to the game with me.
All right. What are we doing now?
We're moving on to more happenings in the world of football, and we're going to talk some NFL news right now. Hard Knocks training camp with the Buffalo Bills is going to premiere on Tuesday, August 5th on HBO Max. That came out of nowhere. All of a sudden, I see this thing, on Twitter or Facebook. They got the graphic, Buffalo Bills, Hard Knocks. I had no idea who was on Hard Knocks this year.
We were talking before. I was like, did we talk about this before? Like,
no.
Did we know that this was the team?
If we did, I do not remember it.
Yeah.
So I don't think that was made public until just the other day.
It was interesting, though, regardless, because I was like, is this the first time in a while that we've had, like, a winning team on Hard Knocks? Because the Bills were in the playoffs. They were a good team. So it's just an interesting... I know we've been doing we know divisions are getting the Hard Knocks treatment.
Right, the in-season thing, whatever, later on, which I never watched.
They clearly didn't do the off-season Hard Knocks this year, so...
I'll watch the preseason.
This one should be interesting. I mean, the Bills are a very fascinating team, and we have friends from Buffalo, so this will be interesting to kind of keep it, they got a new stadium coming, so I'm sure there'll be stuff with that.
Yep.
And, I mean, they got a great fan base. They could go a lot of different directions with this. The Josh Allen story is always a hot topic. We'll see what kind of other players they feature. So it'll be interesting. It'll be a different change of pace going with a team that has been pretty successful. I mean, obviously no Super Bowl titles, but you know what I mean? Like a team that's not a rebuild. It's not a up-and-coming team. It's a team that's currently considered one of the best teams in the league on Hard Knocks. So that should be fascinating.
All right. In some other NFL news, Colts left tackle Bernard Raymond signs a 4-year, $100 million contract extension. He was only in his third year. He was going into his final year of his rookie contract. And now he's guaranteed $60 million out of his big contract there. He actually played tight end in college at, where you might ask, Central Michigan University. So, Michigan guy making big money down in Indianapolis playing for the Colts. Can't say as I've even heard of this guy, but I guess they're very high on this guy. And I think he was a second-round pick, I want to say. I'm not sure. But, congratulations to him for getting the big bucks to make. See,
this is a story. I was trying to think. I was I don't remember a Colts player. I knew a Chargers guy I thought got money. But...
Yeah, well, this was just yesterday or day before that this happened.
Okay, because I was I can't say as I've heard this story. So.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
I think I heard it yesterday, and I forgot to write it down, and so I had to go look it up today, and there it was.
Okay, I believe. I was just the one I saw was a Chargers player. I hadn't heard anything about a Colts guy.
Yeah. Then to find out he was played at Central Michigan, so he's been to Kalamazoo.
Probably. I mean, more than likely.
Hopefully, we beat him when he came to town. Okay, do you want to get into your uniform corner? Or
yes, Adam's Uniform Corner, a.k.a. America's hottest podcast segment. That's right, everybody. I love talking uniforms, and what a great excuse than to do it on this podcast. So some new big uniform news this past week. You said you didn't know any of it.
I had heard nothing this week. I know last week you had all these stories you were telling me about. I'm like, okay, yeah, whatever. This week I said, he doesn't have anything this week. I should probably take this out of the lineup.
Oh, no, you're going to have to keep that in there for a while because we're going to start off with the reveal the Cleveland Browns made of their all-brown alternate helmets. Have you seen these things?
I did see the helmet. It looked pretty crappy.
Now with their whole uniform set, they look like a giant walking turd. They might as well be... I
was going to say fudgesicle.
Oh, there you go, the fudgesicle uniforms, if you want to be a little more PG about it. But we can call them the... Crap, now I'm blanking on the character from South Park. That's the turd.
I know who you mean.
I can't remember it right now. Crap. But that's what it reminded me of. And then did you see the unveil? Because they had a raft on a river with a big inflatable version of the helmet. And the sponsor, did you see who the sponsor was?
No.
Dude Wipes. So for your all turd uniforms... You go with Dude Wipes as your sponsor. You can't make this up. And then, unfortunately, one of the poor social media guys videotaping the thing from the raft took an extra step too far and landed in the river.
Wasn't it a woman? I thought it was a woman.
I thought it was a guy. I don't know.
But somebody, they're trying to get the right angle, and they're moving over, and they got to the edge.
I saw the video from a couple angles, and it was just funny each time. I'm sorry for that kid and that phone, but...
well, is it true now that the old statement is now true that they really are taking the Browns to the Super Bowl?
No, that'll never. That's unfortunately Browns fans. I don't think it'll ever happen.
No, I'm saying the connotation there.
I get what
when
you're
you go
saying.
into the bathroom, you're taking the Browns to the Super Bowl.
Well, now they'll look the part because they'll look like a big turd.
So I had to explain that to you.
Anyway, the other uniform, and this is one I'm surprised you didn't even know about. I think the Green Bay Packers unveiling a throwback look with the alternate helmet that looks like that leather helmet that Illinois did.
I did see that.
What do you think of that?
I love that faux leather helmet look.
It's a cool look.
That is the greatest thing ever. When who was it? Illinois. When Illinois did that last year, every one of those was hand painted by an artist. So I don't know if it's the same artist or if they came up with a different process, whatever. But that is the coolest looking thing
I hope more
ever.
teams adopt this leather helmet with just their team name on the front. That'd be cool. And I like that the Packers social media, they even rebranded with the old blue and gold color scheme, and that their name is now Green Bay Packers Football Club, from back in the day. So it's just a cool look. And if you look at it, it's nothing exciting. Because even I showed it to a Packers fan at work. He goes, "Ugh, I don't like that at all." He's like, "Where's the green?" I'm like, "Well, I think you're really not a Packers fan, are you?" But I like the look overall. It's a nice throwback. I would love to see more teams adopt this throwback with a leather helmet, and like, let's get some games like that, fellas. Like, shoot, I think that'd be a lot of fun.
You know what I'd like to see? I just thought of this. The Lions should use that helmet, only paint it silver, but still make it look like a leather helmet with this.
They should.
With the
I think some
lines on
other
it.
teams should. Like, I'm sure, like the Rams could do something with the yellow.
Yes.
But do a faux leather helmet, and then then add some sort of ram horn or something like that.
Yeah. Oh,
I think that could be a cool thing to try. I hope that's the
Absolutely.
next step in these alternate helmets. Like, if you're going to do something with an alternate helmet, do something cool like that.
especially like with Detroit, they are going back to their 1934 look.
Yeah.
They've always had the Honolulu blue jerseys, so this is their 1934 look when they were wearing leather helmets. And Green Bay can go back that far too, and a lot of other teams. So the ones that their history goes back to the leather helmet days, they should try something.
They should definitely. They need to embrace this, just like they're trying to start like a new tradition. So those NFL, we talked about it a while ago, the NFL rivalries uniform sets is a new thing they're trying out. It's kind of like the NBA and the Major League Baseball, how they have like their city uniforms. Like, it's a special, like, kind of one-off uniform that they wear every once in a while. So the NFL, it looks like they're only starting off this year with the NFC West and AFC East teams getting some brand new special uniform, helmet sets, all that. And we got some teasers this week for all 8 teams. I watched a video, and like each team released their own individual video on social media, just teasing it. It was like 7 seconds long each. So if you watch all of them, it was like a minute-long video. Kind of somebody put it all together on Twitter, and they teased a lot of different ones. It looks like the Bills are going with like an icy look, so like they're gonna tweak the uniform a little bit and go with like an icy snow version of the uniform. The Jets look like they're going back to like a midnight black kind of thing with some neon greenish maybe. The Rams look like they might be going all black. Yeah, with like a neon yellow. We haven't got official looks yet. Those will all be unveiled on August 28th. And the idea is that whenever the division games happen, so like if the Rams and 49ers play, the home team will be wearing the alternate uniform. So in any of those matchups, anytime the NFC West teams get together, the home team will be wearing that alternate uniform.
Wow.
And
Interesting.
yeah, so anytime those teams are all matched up, one team will at least have that alternate. So I thought that was interesting. I thought it was going to be like a home and away set, so every game would be like both teams are having alternate uniforms, but it sounds like it's just the home team.
Okay.
So we'll see. It looks like the Dolphins are even going to be adding like some black to their... It's just based on the little teases, and there's been some mock-ups people have been doing. So we'll see when the official unveil happens August 28th. We'll give Adam's Uniform Corner another segment at that point.
If this is going to become a regular thing,
Yep.
with
So
you,
every year they're going to add new divisions. So like next year, and I think these uniform sets might stay in rotation. So I'm not sure how that's going to work, but I think next year the NFC North is going to get this treatment. So the Lions will have a different jersey when they play their rivals. So yeah.
No, my point is if this Adams uniform
my
corner
segment
is becoming, this is 2 weeks in a row you've done this now.
Yeah.
If this is going to become a weekly thing, maybe we should think about getting a sponsor for this. Maybe Viking Wax Press could sponsor this segment.
I mean, Royce, it's okay, bud. The price might be too high. But I mean, I found out that brother-in-law Kyle's been holding out on us. He's got a cousin or something that owns a auto body shop. I'm like, yo, and you haven't gotten them to sponsor us yet, dude? Like, what's going on there? He's like, well, maybe if you guys hit 1,000 views on videos consistently, maybe we could talk. And I'm like, way to help us out, bro.
Yeah.
All right, that's it for Adam's Uniform Corner. Come back next week where who knows what we'll have to talk about.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to a little news out of the UFL. There's several places are reporting that that all 4 of the USFL conference teams could be moving next season.
Yeah.
That would be the Michigan Panthers, the Birmingham Stallions, Memphis Showboats, and the Houston Roughnecks. Supposedly, the plan is to move them to different locations, such as Florida. They're talking about Tampa or Orlando there. Boise, Idaho, which makes no sense to me. Columbus, Ohio, and Kentucky, either Louisville or Lexington. This was everywhere. I mean, many different outlets were talking about this, and they're all talking about it like it's going to happen. But nothing has come out officially from the league yet, so I don't know where they're getting this information. So I personally hope it doesn't happen. I don't want to lose the Michigan Panthers. I love going to see them every year. But until something official comes out from the league, I'm not going to totally believe it.
I agree with that. But, a lot of times, sometimes, where there's smoke, there is fire.
Yes, true.
The league, if this was something that wasn't happening, you would also think the league would come in and be like, everything's going fine. Mm-hmm. We're at least keeping these teams for another, because we kept hearing about expansion. I think that's cooled down, and I think there's still a lot of, I've also seen other people say, no, a lot of this is still fluid. They might be looking at places, but I think the 2026 season still might be a year of the same teams. So we might have a year before any of these drastic changes happen. But even then, I'll play devil's advocate. If you're the league, attendance is a big issue. I know there's some haters out there who like to point out the bad attendance for this league. And while some of that is on maybe more fans just got to get to the games, but it's also on this league for not marketing well enough, I think. Yeah, they got their big network deals, and they think that's enough. But you got to get butts and seats. You got to get communities to care about these teams. And clearly, I mean, I've even had a guy at work come up to me and go, "Yo, I heard we're losing the Panthers. What gives?" Like so that's kind of trickled out. And I don't know. I do think that these teams need to start getting more community focused.
Well, one thing that I've seen, at least two of these teams, they're starting to get fans around saying, save our team.
Yeah.
And so maybe that's what the league wants, is they want to threaten to move them out to get the fans to, maybe this is just a ploy to get the fans excited to say, no, we want our team, leave our team alone. And it's, oh, okay, we're not going to.
Why does that sound so familiar?
Because it's a conspiracy theory?
Well, no, I'm just being like, aren't there other teams that have done this? Like, we'll move if you don't build us a stadium.
Yeah, but that's an individual team. I'm talking about the whole league might be just saying,
same tactics. It's
leaking this, saying, well, let's see what the fan response is. If nobody cares, yeah, we'll do it. If there's a big uproar, we'll leave them where they're at.
We'll see. Like, look, I would understand for some of these locations. Like, while Birmingham's had one of the more consistent teams.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Unfortunately, nobody's going out to those games.
That's true.
Their attendance is not great. And the Ford Field issue with the Panthers is the big thing I keep seeing for them. Like, supposedly for a game it costs $500,000 just to operate Ford Field. That's terrible business if you're the Michigan Panthers, or the UFL having to pay that. Why not find, if you're going to want to stay in Michigan, why not pick a few locations across the state and you can find different fan base, the fan base in Michigan, like go to Western, go to East Michigan, East Lansing,
yep.
Or some smaller colleges like Wayne State's right there by Detroit. Mm-hmm. I'm sure that'd be perfect for the level of attendance that a UFL game would probably pull in.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's not the nice Ford Field and the nice dome, but
sure.
Even Dan Campbell's come out and said, the UFL is great for, this is like what the NFL needs is like its own feeder league.
Right.
I mean, yeah, they have college, but to further develop guys, you need a league like this. So
that's where the Lions found Jake Bates, right in their own building.
Yeah, so I don't know. I wish the NFL would step in and make some sort of deal to be like, we want this type of league, maybe not the UFL specifically, but we would like some sort of league
in our stadiums
that could feed football fans all year round.
Yep.
I don't think you need a 32 team developmental league.
Sure.
You probably don't even need half.
Yeah.
You do a 10 or 12 team and, like I said, regionalize it. Maybe have 2 or 3 teams. One theory I used to have was, or idea, a team for each division. That's 8 teams, and all 4 of those teams from the NFL that are would co-operate a farm system with guys, and you have a rotating waiver list of we want to call this guy up, or we want to look at this player and sign him. So there's a lot they could do. We'll see what happens. Like you said, this is all rumor.
Right.
And until something actually happens, I take everything with a grain of salt.
But even so, I mean, we've been going to the Michigan Panthers games when they were still USFL. So it's been 3 or 4 years we've been going to Michigan Panthers games. And it's so much fun. There's no traffic. Not like a Lions game. The parking is affordable, and you're parking right next to the stadium, not 5 blocks away. The weather's great. You get to see the stadium. We took your fiance's dad this year. He'd never been to Ford Field, so he got to see the stadium and experience what it's like, what Ford Field is all about. We walked all over the stadium, we saw everything, went to the gift shop and all that stuff. So, people that maybe can't afford to go to a Lions game will at least get to go see the stadium and go and buy some Lions merchandise as well as some Panthers merchandise. So I thought it was great, and I love going there because it's easy to get in, it's easy to get out, it doesn't cost you an arm and a leg, you're not sitting on top of everybody, you're not wedged in with 65,000 other people. It's great to go there and see the Panthers play. As much as I love the Lions, it's nice to have that atmosphere of a I wouldn't say a vacant stadium, but a stadium that's got a lot less people in it. You can really enjoy it.
Well, not so good for the box office there for the teams, but I mean, we'll see what happens.
I'm just worried about me, and that's why I like it.
Because that's all that matters.
And those short lines at the food vendors too.
Oh, that's the other thing. Yep.
All right, let's move on to some college news. Actually, a few college stories this week. Michigan and Western Michigan University playing in Germany next year.
How awesome would that be? You already got the tickets booked?
No, but that's something that came out. These two teams are in talks to start next year in Germany. This will be a week 0 game. It hasn't been finalized yet, but these are the two teams that are in negotiation to go over there and do this. I think it would be awesome to see them on TV. I don't know if I'd really want to fly to Germany just to see Western Michigan and Michigan.
I think that if it's the first game of the year, that might fall on my weekend of my music festival. So that might be a tough ask. Otherwise, I'd be like, let's go. I mean, I already kind of asked my fiance, and she kind of gave me this look. I'm like, nope, never mind. I won't bring it up. I won't bring it up. I know going to Germany is a big ask.
But it's very intriguing.
If they came up with a package deal, though, for Western fans.
Oh, I'm sure they would. I absolutely think they would.
Boy.
They would fly you over there. They'd have the hotel set up. And
oh my gosh,
I hadn't really thought about that, but yeah, you're right. They'll like they did with
but if it's week 0, that would mean it would be the week before Labor Day, right?
Yes.
So maybe I could go.
You better start
Loophole, baby.
Saving your money. Your fiance doesn't have a passport, does she? Oh, she does.
She does, yeah.
She does have one.
Yep.
Okay.
I have one, so
I know you do.
We went to Canada. And guess what? The kids got one too, so we can maybe have a Germany
I don't think
trip.
you could afford to take both of them.
The little one. Sorry, you both got to stay here. Yeah, oh yeah, she'll love that, Randy.
Yeah, but no, this is very intriguing. Michigan and Western Michigan playing in Germany, week 0.
To kick off the year, that would be awesome.
Yeah, I don't know when it's going to be official. Talks may break down. I don't know.
Everything's coming up Kalamazoo, baby.
Absolutely, that would be awesome.
A national championship hockey team, like oh boy,
yeah.
a new state of the art event center.
Yeah.
Yep, everything's coming up Kalamazoo.
In another college story, all of the tickets are now sold out for this entire season at the University of North Carolina, thanks to their new head coach, Bill Belichick. Now, I've assumed that the first game would have been sold out, but the entire season is sold out. You can't get a ticket to any of their games this year because Bill Belichick's there.
I mean, that's good for them.
Yeah.
Good for that program. I mean, UNC's been a program to me that I've never known to be good. I guess back in the early 90s, maybe 80s.
Yeah,
they were
it's
good.
been a while since they've really been good.
So I've never seen them good. They've always just kind of been like an afterthought on the Sports Center highlights. Like, oh, and here's highlights from that game.
Yeah.
All right, that's how that team was always to me. So now it's kind of like the Colorado thing. I never knew Colorado to be good.
True, yes.
So it's kind of the same effect. It's the same effect Dion had on Colorado, Belichick's having on this school. Yeah, so I think that's great. Maybe I won't say it's gimmicky, but is it an actual sustainable thing for this university?
Yeah, we'll see if it lasts more than one season.
Dion's kept that school pretty consistent the last couple of years. I know we're about to talk about Dion here, but it's just I think it's good for the school, even in the short term. But we'll see how it is long term and what kind of success he actually does on the field, because you might have sold it out now, but if something changes, and he leaves, or if that team's not good, I'd be curious to see what happens.
Yeah, they've got a lot of changes. They got to find a new starting quarterback there, and so we'll see how Colorado does this year. But anyway, speaking of Colorado head coach Deion Sanders, he just held a press conference the other day saying that he recently had bladder cancer surgery, and he's declared himself to be cancer-free now. So he is ready to take on the season. He had nothing but I saw a little bit of this news conference, and he was there with some of the doctors from the I don't know if it was a university hospital or where he actually had the procedure done, but he was there with some doctors, and he had nothing but fantastic things to say about the treatment he got there, the doctors, the nurses, and everything. And he was telling everybody, please get checked out. And he was talking about how African American men, they don't like to go to the doctor. I was that way for many years, but you get to a certain age,
African American man,
you can't help but not like the doctors. I've always hated doctors, but now at my age, I'm always to the doctor for something. My gosh, it's ridiculous. So he was hyping that, go get checked out. It saved my life. It could save yours. Blah blah blah. I shouldn't say blah blah blah. I'm glad that he's recovering and that he's going to be fine. So, but yeah, that was something that just happened yesterday. We all knew he had a bunch of medical problems. There's always this stuff about his feet. Doesn't he have a few toes missing or something?
I think so, yeah.
So now this bladder cancer comes out of nowhere, and so supposedly that's all good now. Good for him. Good for him. Let's see. Our last college story: the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have
an
placed...
NFL team, not a college team, by the way.
Oh, but I put this in the wrong spot.
I was going to say,
this should have been in the NFL section.
So
I put it in the wrong spot. All right. Well,
anyway.
Because it's an undrafted college guy. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers have placed undrafted defensive tackle Desmond Watson from the University of Florida on the non-football injury list due to his weight. Get this. Watson, age 22, is 6'6", 464 pounds, or he was 464 pounds when the Bucs signed him after the 2025 NFL Draft. He's now down to a svelte 450 pounds, but he hasn't lost enough weight to be cleared for training camp yet. Did you see the pictures of this guy?
This dude's huge.
He's massive.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Why even sign the guy if you knew that he was this big?
Well, maybe they thought he needed to, lose weight before camp, and he hasn't. He's only lost 16
But even then,
pounds.
I didn't know there was a weight limit. I thought the whole point would be, I want the biggest, baddest dude, and this is literally the biggest, baddest dude.
Well, they talked years ago about how Les Bingaman, Lions defensive lineman, I guess, for the Lions back in the 50s, was over 350 pounds, and he was the biggest guy in the NFL at that time. And now you get this guy at 450 pounds. So
it's why even sign? I get maybe he just has to lose a little bit of weight, but if it's got to be more than that.
Well, he had some good stats. I was reading some of his, several sacks and he's a great lineman.
Dude's a beast.
But they just needed to lose some more weight to make training camp weight, I guess. Okay, so let's move on to today's birthdays. July 29th, we have one birthday today. Linebacker Pepper Johnson turned 61 years old today. He played his college football at Ohio State and was selected in the second round of the 1986 NFL Draft by the New York Giants. He played 13 NFL seasons. He was with the Giants from 86 to 92, and he won 2 Super Bowls with the Giants. And he also played for the Browns from 93 to 95. He was with the Detroit Lions in 96, and he finished his career with the New York Jets from 97 to 98. So happy birthday, Pepper Johnson. And now we have 2 obituaries, and this is where we take a moment and honor those who've made the world of football a better place. The first obituary is that of Gary Chone, a linebacker in the Canadian Football League for 4 seasons, has passed away at the age of 73. Chone played college football at Bishop's University in Quebec, Canada. He also played in the CFL for the Montreal Alouettes from 1974 to 1977, and he won 2 Grey Cup titles with the Alouettes in 74 and 77. So his first and last year with the team, he won a Grey Cup with. And he played in a third one, but they lost that one.
All right, and our final obituary this week is that of John Pitts, a defensive back in the NFL for 9 seasons, has passed away at the age of 80. Pitts played college football at Arizona State and was the 22nd overall pick in the 1967 NFL Draft by the Buffalo Bills. He played for the Bills from 1967 to 1973 and was traded during the 1973 season to the Denver Broncos. He played for the Broncos from 1973 to 1975 and then was traded during the 1975 season to the Cleveland Browns, where he finished his playing career.
All right. Finally today, our upcoming events calendar. This Thursday, July 31st, the Hall of Fame game in Canton, Ohio. Our Detroit Lions against the, San Diego, Los Angeles Chargers. Yep. And we are going to be there for the game. Yeah. We are all set for that. really looking forward to it.
Should be interesting. What kind of? And I know you're looking forward to all the different merch you could be scooping up.
Yeah,
for us.
I mean, I've got my pin board over there, and I just realized that they have pins for sale for the Hall of Fame game with the 2 teams and all that. I have got to get one.
Oh, I'm sure you'll get one.
I better get one. Let's see. Saturday, August 9th, the Arena League's Arena Mania 2 Championship game is going to take place. Tuesday, August 19th is going to be our 8th anniversary show. I believe that's episode 407.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's coming up in a couple weeks. I got to get my butt around and get the highlights clipped out so that we can insert those into that show and talk about some of the stupid stuff we've talked about this last year.
A lot of stupid stuff.
So many. It's hard to pick just a handful of them. Let's see. Saturday, August 23rd, the college football season begins. It's going to be week 0. They have 8 games that week, highlighted by Iowa State versus Kansas State in Dublin, Ireland. Oh, next year that could be.
So that August 23rd, I could do that next year.
Yeah.
That could be doable. We'll have to keep an
next
eye
year we could be
out.
talking about that being the featured game over in Frankfurt, Germany.
Oh,
next
heck
year.
yeah, that will be it.
That we might be at. Yeah.
That'd be great.
It would be pretty awesome. Let's see. And finally, Saturday, August 23rd, the Indoor Football League National Championship game will take place in Tucson, Arizona, a place I've been to many times.
I was going to say, did you book your flight yet?
I would love to go back there. All right. Anything else that we need to mention before we close today's show?
No, I have not seen any big breaking news. Nothing really jumping out at me right now.
That'll happen the minute we stop recording.
Yeah, I mean,
Yes, it always
if you look at the
does.
recording, this is a long one for us, but we did have the 23-minute segment with Trey thrown in here. Otherwise, this probably would have been just under an hour show. So technically, we've recorded for under an hour, but
Okay.
this is an hour and 20-minute show.
Ooh.
Yeah,
man.
one of our longer ones, but
Yeah.
it's a fun one.
Okay, well, let's get out of here then. That's it for this week. Don't forget to check out the World of Football merchandise at tpublic.com for the latest in football-related T-shirts, hats, mugs, and more from our merch store. And remember, folks, some people may love football more than we do, but nobody, and I mean nobody, loves more football than the 2 of us guys sitting here in Kalamazoo talking about all things football. Join us again next week when we'll try and do a better job. Yeah, right. Until then, I'm Randy Snow.
And I'm going to have to figure out how to coax my fiance, and at that point my wife, to let me go over to Germany. She was worried. I was worried because it would have been on our anniversary date, I think,
Ooh.
of our wedding. So that would have been a non-starter. But if it's August 23rd, Randy, could probably pull it off. Fingers crossed. See you next year, Germany.
Yeah, well, we'll see. And we'll see you all next week.
Thanks for listening, and we hope you enjoyed this installment of This Week in the World of Football. New episodes of the podcast are posted every Tuesday and can be found wherever good podcasts are found. You can find the World of Football on Facebook, Instagram, and X by searching for TWOF Kalamazoo or using the links down in the episode description. Head on over to YouTube and subscribe to the World of Football for more fun football-related content. Just search for the World of Football Kalamazoo or use the handle @the World of Football. Thanks for listening and hope to see you again next time.